Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, OPM creates an email account to report suspected diversity and inclusion initiatives targeted by the Trump administration. And President Trump officially nominates Michael Kratsios to be director of OSTP. It's Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's dive into the day's top headlines. The Office of Personnel Management has created a new email account meant to collect reports of suspected diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, one of a series of moves the Trump administration has taken to slash DEI efforts across the federal workforce. According to a January 21st memo available online, OPM directed agencies, which are now engaged in the process of shutting down diversity initiatives, to collect reports of any efforts to disguise such initiatives. The memo states that the administration is aware of efforts by some in government to disguise DEI programs by using coded or imprecise language, calling for anyone aware of a change in any contract description or personnel position description since November 5th of last year to obscure that connection between the contract and DEI or similar ideologies, to report all, quote, facts and circumstances to the email account DEIAtruth@opm.gov within 10 days. The memo states that failure to report those activities could result in, quote, adverse consequences. And already on Wednesday, agencies began to heed those orders. An employee at one federal agency confirmed to FedScoop that they were told in an email to report potential diversity initiatives, while FedScoop viewed an email sent to an employee at a different federal agency that said the same. In other news, the White House sent Michael Kratsios' nomination to direct the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy to the Senate on Wednesday, formally beginning his confirmation process. Kratsios was Chief Technology Officer during the first Trump administration and was most recently Managing Director of Scale AI, a technology company and defense contractor focused on AI model training data. Sending his nomination to the Senate officially starts the confirmation process and puts him among the first of Trump's selections officially transmitted to the chamber. To win confirmation, Kratsios will first have to clear the Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation. For his previous CTO role, he was ultimately confirmed via voice vote, in other words, without a formal tally due to unanimous support. Trump initially announced his plans to nominate Kratsios to lead OSTP in December, along with several other tech officials, including Lynn Parker, who will serve as Executive Director of the President's Council of Advisors for Science and Technology and counselor to the OSTP Director. According to that announcement, the officials will work with David Sachs, who's been named as Trump's AI and crypto czar. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back tomorrow with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.